All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining on this program. This is a Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program, and as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Sabbath day. Now, before we get started, let me remind you to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It is a big help if you do that for me. Feel free to just tap that notification bell because I don't want you to miss any of our lessons. And if you feel so inclined, check the description box down below for the donation links where you can donate to PayPal under Fountain of Israel or to CashApp. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into our lesson. Now, this is a lesson I've done a while back, and it's entitled A Good Name, but this time I'll be reading it from the Scriptures version of the Bible. So we're going to look at a good name under the Scriptures version of the Bible. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this particular lesson is if we looked at some of the things that has happened in recent history. We look at the Donald Trump thing. We look at, obviously, a couple of years back, you look at the R. Kelly thing. You look at Will Smith, you look at P. Diddy, you look at just Robert De Niro, all these type of different things. Now, I'm not talking about the scandals that are behind some of these people. I'm not necessarily zeroing in on any of that, right? What I'm saying is that they build up their name, who they are, over a long period of time. Okay, they have extended, these gentlemen that I name, and there's a lot of them. These gentlemen that I name, they have an extensive resume, right? They have celebrity, they have wealth, they have fame, and they go and do something stupid. At least some of them, they go and do something very stupid. Some of them heinous, and the name gets destroyed, right? Because having a good name, is important. But that doesn't mean that someone's not going to come against you. That doesn't mean that just because you have a good name, you have a good person. But you do want some of those things to align. You do want to if you have a good name, it's because you are a good person. You're a reputable person, that you are credit worthy, that type of thing. Because we know sometimes fame could be just an illusion, okay, in a veil, especially with some of the people that I named at the outset, okay. So we thought we would think one thing about a person, and then come to find out it's not that. But in the end, you also have the other side of the coin where someone will come after you and try to defame your name, and you're innocent, And I'm not saying necessarily the guys I name. I'm just saying, you take for example, you take Will Smith. He didn't commit a crime, when it has to do with his wife, but his name doesn't carry as much weight because of the sheer amount of disrespect that she put on his name, right? So people don't look at him the same. Now, obviously, it was stupid of him to go and smack Chris Rock and stuff like that, years back. But at the same time, his name is not what it once was. Okay, it's just that simple. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there as an example of, when someone has a quote unquote a name, and it doesn't even have to be on that level, the level of a celebrity. It doesn't have to go that far, right? You can just have a good name in your community. You can have a good name in your family, right? But on the same token, that name could be damaged, all right? So we do need to think about, how history will record us. Okay, we do want to do that. We want to keep in mind how history will record us as a person. Now, with that, we're going to go ahead and get into the scripture. So let's go on over to Proverbs, which would be Mishle in the scriptures version of the Bible. Going to go over to Mishle, and it's going to be Proverbs 22. Proverbs 22, and we're going to read at verse 1. This is where this title comes from. It says, a good name is preferable to great riches, and favor is better than silver and gold. A good name is preferable to great riches because back in the day, like we didn't have like an official credit system. We couldn't go to TransUnion and Experian and Equifax and all that, right? It wasn't like that back in the day. But your reputation is what preceded you when people learned about you. Okay, and that's why it was important to have a good name, because it was trustworthiness or credit worthiness, right? That's where these credit reporting bureaus, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like an official credit worthy type of thing. But again, we had that when someone's name or it'll say, and the fame of them went out before, that type of thing. But then again, you have a particular reputation, right? So that's a good name, right? So a good name is preferable to great riches and favors, better than silver and gold. So a good name. So we're going to go on over to Ecclesiastes real quick. Let's go on over to Ecclesiastes. And when we get there, we're going to go to chapter 7, actually. Ecclesiastes. All right. And when we get to Kohelet or Ecclesiastes, we're going to go to chapter 7 and verse 1. A good name is better than precious oil, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. Okay, because when we come into the world, so that may confuse some people, but it's saying the day of death is better because it's an end to all our toils, right? It's like you finished the race, you made it to the end type thing. Obviously, if you put forth the effort to build yourself and make something of yourself. And again, that doesn't mean that you're trying to be, the next billionaire or anything like that, because that doesn't mean that, you're going to have a great end. It's just that when you're trying to build yourself, grow in being a man or a woman of Yah, grow in your faith, grow in character, grow your family, okay? Be fruitful and multiply, grow your family, grow your lineage, okay? When you bring quality to that, okay? When you bring quality to your life, quality to yourself, honor, worship, and respect and reverence for the Most High and the Messiah, things like that. It has more than one layer to it. Okay, so a good name is better than the precious oil, the day of death than the day of birth, because what lies before you once you're born, what lies before you is very difficult. Okay, the struggle becomes very, very, very real once you are born. But when you die, the struggle is over. Okay, the building and the struggling and the strife and the, trying to achieve and the grind and the grind and the grind, all that is over at the day of your death. Okay, so that is done. After that, the judgment, right? So we just go from there. Let's go on over to 1 Peter. Okay, let's go to Kifa Aleph, the scriptures version. 1 Peter, we're going to go to chapter 2 and we're going to read 11 and 12. 1 Peter, oops, I'm in the wrong one there. Let's go to Peter. Not quite there yet. So 1 Peter chapter 2, we're going to read 11 and 12. Beloved ones, I appeal to you as sojourners and pilgrims to abstain from fleshly lusts which battle against the being. Having your behavior among the nations good, so that when they speak against you as evildoers, let them, by observing your good works, esteem Elohim in a day of visitation. Okay, so he's saying when they observe your good behavior, when they observe your good works, when they observe your manner of life, that is your that is your reputation. That is credited towards your good name. See, these are the things that we need to think about, having a good name when we go out in public and we do certain things, because a lot of people, they get caught in very compromising positions. We live in this digital age where everyone, before helping you, they'll pull out their camera on you. Okay, they're recording that, and people love scandal. The world loves scandal. The people love to devour you. The world loves to consume you, get you hooked on something, whatever your vice happens to be, whatever that is, whatever your vice happens to be, get you caught up, get you hooked, and then at the same time, it will destroy you. That's the trap of the world. Allow me to elucidate with another scripture. It says, love not the world, right? Or this whole world is passing away. It's going to be gone anyway. And yet we find ourselves loving everything about the world. We love the trappings of success, the accoutrement. We love that stuff. We love social media. Look at the social media presence right now. Everything is on social media. We're all on social media. But the social media have you. Are you consumed by it? We have it, or children have it, grandchildren. And now it's everywhere. It's pervasive, if you will. So we have to be even more vigilant when it comes to building or protecting our good name. Even more so. Let's go on over to Koheleth real quick. Oops, excuse me there. Let's go on over to Ecclesiastes. This time we're going to go to chapter 10, verse 1. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 1. It says, dead flies make the perfumer's ointment stink. Ferment, a little folly outweighs wisdom, esteem. Okay? Outweighs it only takes a little. But let me just simplify. It only takes a little to mess up your good name. And let me remind you that some could come after your good name. Look, one of the first things people try to do. Look at our elections. Look at all of them, right? Look at all our elections. When they are going against one another, what are some of the things that they try to do to win an election? Character assassination. They try to sully or throw mud on someone's good name, i.e. reputation, right? This is normal. This is what we do. It's what we do. Rarely do we hear debates on the merits. Rarely do we hear debates or we see a race ran strictly on the topics. And now it's so normalized in our society today. Half the time we don't even notice it. Half the time that's who we vote for, who can throw the most mud, who can make the other person look bad enough. I only say this just so that you can understand how fragile having a good name is. This is super fragile, right? Super fragile. Super hard to build up. Easy to tear down. Very simple to tear down. We're going to go to the book of Acts. We're going to get there. Let's go to chapter 9, if you will. Join me over there. Book of Acts, chapter 9. And we're going to go we're going to start at 36. 36 to 42. But 36 begins this way. And in Yaffo there was a certain taught one named Tabitha, which means Dorcas. This woman was filled with good works and kind deeds, which she did. And it came to be in those days that she became sick and died. And having washed her, they laid her in an upper room. And lo, being near to Yaffo, and the taught ones, having heard that Kepha was there, they sent 2 men to him, urging him not to delay in coming to them. And having risen up, Kepha went with them, and when he arrived, they brought him to the upper room, and all the widows stood beside him weeping, showing the inner garments and outer garments which Dorcas had made while she was with them. But Kepha, sent them all out and knelt down and prayed, and turning to the body, he said, "Tabitha, arise." And she opened her eyes, and seeing Kepha, she sat up. And giving her his hand, he lifted her up, and calling the set apart ones and widows, he presented her alive. And it became known throughout all Yaffo, and many believed on the master. And it came to be that he stayed for many days in Yaffo with Shimon, and a leather tanner. So, because the point of this is that she had an excellent report. Dorcas had an excellent report. She had a good name. Why? The people said so. And she did all this. She fed us. She made clothes. She was very nice. She was hospitable. She was awesome. Right? It's like back in the day when all the kids, they would play and they would go over to Big Mama's house because Big Mama would feed them. And they play in the yard, you know, or in the sidewalk, in the backyard. It's just one of those things. They had a good name. So even when she died, everyone wept because it's the impact that someone has on the lives of others. You don't have to be super famous for that. It's just the impact that you have on the lives of others. It's how you walk. It's your chase conversation. It's how you walk, how you move, how you maneuver, how you still stay strong in the faith while you move around, while you are being a light unto the world, while you're trying to be the salt of the earth. Sure, some people will try to come against you. Some people will try to come against your name. But it is still beneficial for you and I to build a good name. That doesn't mean famous. It's just the people who come in contact with you, they know you by your character and by your fruit. Heck, even a court of law, there used to be times where they would call on a character witness. Right? So it is important, it's imperative that we build a good name. Now again, hard to build, easy to lose, even harder to defend. But that's what's important. That's what we have to do. 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy. Then we're going to go to chapter 3. First Timothy, or Timotheos Aleph. Timotheos Aleph, 1 Timothy. We're going to go to chapter 3, and we are going to read 2 through 7. Got 3, 2 through 7, which reads, "An overseer then should be blameless, the husband of one wife, sober, sensible, orderly, kind to strangers, able to teach, not given to wine, no brawler, but gentle, not quarrelsome, no lover of silver, one who rules his own house well, having his children in subjection with all reverence. For if a man does not know how to rule his own house, how shall he look after the assembly of Elohim? Not a new convert, lest he become puffed up with pride and fall into the judgment of the devil. And he should even have a good witness from those who are outside, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil." Talking about this person's good name, his good character, his manner of life, his conversation. How does he move? How does he work? This is what it's talking about. It's going right back to your character. Right back to the integrity. That's what it's talking about. And it's whether it be good or bad, it doesn't matter. This is what we are talking about. And what I mean by that is we have a name. It's a good name or a bad name, okay? Or no name. Okay, that's what I mean, good or bad. With good name, bad name, maybe no name. And so whether it is in front of people, okay, that has to do, with your character and things like that. But it also has to do with your integrity, what you do when no one is looking. That too is important. We have to remember that. It's not just because someone is looking. It's what do you do when no one is looking? That goes part of your good character. That is being recorded in the heavens. It reminds me of the story where, there's a guy, he was, and I think I told this story before, but he was taking his girl on a picnic. Called her up, said, hey, let's have a picnic. There's beautiful, lovely views on the mountainside. It's beautiful. The weather was great. Birds are singing. It's nice and, very nice and crispy atmosphere. Good, cool, crisp mountain air and all that. Of course, she was excited. He was excited. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's hop in a car, convertible. It's awesome. All right. And then, they say, we got to we got to grab some food. Let's grab a couple of things, So we stopped by a quick fast food restaurant just to grab a couple of things. And they grab their stuff. They leave. They make their way. They look over at the bag, and this girl's like, "Whoa, what is this?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, She's looking at the bag. This looks like a deposit. And what happened was one of the managers was disguising the deposit, putting it in a bag so they can go out and you don't want to walk out with, a bag of money. And so they're like, whoa, we gotta turn back. We gotta take that back. So that's what he does. He turns around, takes it back. And he goes back in, talks to the manager, say, hey man, I think you gave me the wrong bag, that type of thing. And of course the manager, he's elated. He's like, oh my God, oh, I can't believe you even brought that back. I mean, oh my God, that was today's deposit, or last night's deposit. And oh my gosh, we would just put it in a different bag, so we can take it out, that type of thing. But wow, well, the average person wouldn't do that. Why would you? He's like, it's not mine. I mean, it's yours. It doesn't belong to me. It's it's fine. He said, oh my gosh, I know a guy who is a reporter. And good deeds like this, shouldn't go unnoticed. Well, I got to tell him about you. And he's like, no, it's not necessary. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. There's your money. I'll be on my way. He's like, no. The manager became very insistent. He's like, no. See, that's the problem. Too many good people do good deeds and nobody hears about it. Okay, I have a guy. He's in the media. Okay, I want to tell him about you. So that other people will be more encouraged by your story and by what you have done today. And the guy looked at him dead in his face. He gets up real close to him. He says, listen to me. No, I don't want you to call your friend. I don't want to be in the media. I don't want anyone to know about me and see my face and all that, because you have to understand something. I am a married man, and the woman out there in that car is not my wife. You see, the thing is, brothers and sisters, we got to understand that it is a twofold coin. It's two sides. You have honesty, integrity, it's character. You see, it's got to be both. So on the one hand, it's kind of nice. You brought the money back. And an average person wouldn't do that. On the other hand, you're doing something else wrong. So it has to be congruent. Now, I know many of us, we won't be perfect in what we're trying to do. We won't be perfect in our walk, but we have to try so that our actions are in alignment with the Most High, in alignment with Torah. This is how we have a good name. We have a good name among men, and then we can find favor with the Most High for the things that the other men do not see. Just like when we're fasting and we're not supposed to let people know, oh, I'm on a fast, and we look like we're suffering, like, oh my God, so we can seem pious and holier than thou. And that's when Yeshua said, oh, well, you have your reward. Don't do all that, otherwise you have your reward. These people pitying you, okay, that's your reward. You don't expect anything from me or the Father in heaven. You see? So if you do it correctly, then, the part that the other people, that the outside world don't know, you get your reward from above, because the Most High sees that. So that's where that internal, when people are not, that's you carrying a good name, and it's between you and the Messiah. That's what's important about having a good name. So whether people see it or not, is important that you and I work on having a good name. Turn to me too. Let's go to Matthew. We're going to go to Matthew or Mattiyahu. And when we go to Matthew, we're going to go to chapter 5. Chapter 5 in Matthew. Start at 13 through 16. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt becomes tasteless, how shall it be seasoned? For it is no longer of any use but to be thrown out and to be trodden down by men. You are the light of the world, and is it possible for a city to be hidden on a mountain? Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it shines to all those in the house. And let your light so shine before men, so that they see your good works and praise your Father who is in heaven. So when people see that you have the courage of your conviction, the way you walk, it's not necessarily that you are just running around and preaching and browbeating other people. No, it's not that. You're just doing your thing. You're just living for the Most High. You are just being in your role as a man, and as your role in your role as a woman, and living for the Most High. You're living on principles. People seem to sense that about you with the way you move, even with the words you choose to speak. With every utterance, we're being judged. Our character and behavior, as it were, it's all being judged. People say, "Oh, no, don't judge." We all judge. They all make assumptions about you and I, good or bad. But we're supposed to let our light shine before men, so that when they see your good works, when they see you're living for something higher and above you, when you're living for something more than yourself, that's part of your good works. When you are living outside of yourself, when you have something that's guiding you, something you are striving for, it's so that they can praise your Father who is in heaven. You believe so strong in what you're doing, and you are living it. That's part of your good name. That's part of how you build a good name. We're going to go to Philippians. And we're going to go to Philippians. We're going to go to chapter 4. We want to read 5 through 13 of Philippians. 5 through 13. 5 says this: "And let your gentleness be known to all men, the Master is near. Do not worry at all, but in every matter, by praying and petition with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to Elohim. And the peace of Elohim, which surpasses all understanding, shall guard your hearts and minds through Messiah Yeshua." Through Messiah Yeshua. "For the rest, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is righteous, whatever is clean, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report, if there is any uprightness, and if there is any praise, think on these. And what you have learned and received and heard and saw in me, practice these, and the Elohim of peace shall be with you. And I rejoice in Yah greatly that now at last your concern for me has revived again, though you were concerned but had no chance. Not that I speak concerning need, for I have learned to be content in whatever state I am. And I know And I know what it is to be humble, and I know what it is to have in excess. In any and every situation, I have learned both to be filled and to be hungry, both to have in excess and to be in need. And to be in need. I have strength to do all through Messiah who empowers me. Okay, let's look at a couple of things there that we read, right? Just a couple of things. I just want to point out just a couple of things. One, he says, but do not worry at all, but in every manner by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, let your request be known unto Elohim. That's one of the first things we need to do. Okay, when we're trying to do this walk, it's very, very hard. It's very, very difficult. But like he said in verse 5, the master is near. Okay, so we have to do that and keep that in mind. Okay, and the peace is going to pass all understanding. That's in Messiah. So we have to remember that as well. Then, of course, he goes on to tell us some of the things that we need to focus on, which those things, if it's as true or noble or righteous or clean or lovely, anything of a good report that's upright, anything that's worthy to be praised. Okay, we need to think on those things. We need to think and focus on that. Okay, so, and what you have learned and received and heard and saw in me, again, his good character, his manner of life, his conduct. Look at those things, right? Because he had a good reputation. Now, Paul, he's a good example of that because before he had a bad reputation among the taught ones, among the disciples, among the apostles, right? Because he was the one who was persecuting them, who was killing them. And then his reputation slowly but surely changed. Till later he was honored and respected as one of the apostles and was accepted by him. Was accepted by Christ and accepted by the other apostles. Eventually over time. It wasn't instant, but eventually over time. So your name can change. It can change. And you can do it with the blessings of the Most High. You can, it doesn't matter. It's forgive the example, but it's like WWE. You can be heel or you can be babyface. It's up to you. And what makes you heel or babyface? Your behavior, right? Your behavior makes you heel or babyface, right? I'm sure the fellas will appreciate that that example. Let's go on over to 1 Peter. Okay, we're going to go on back to 1 Peter. So, let's see here. 1 Peter chapter 4. We're going to go to verse 14. 1 Peter 4:14 reads this way. If you are reproached for the name of Messiah, you are blessed, because the spirit of esteem and of Elohim rest upon you, and their part he is blasphemed. On their part he is blasphemed, but on your part he is praised. Right? So I want to encourage the folks out there that who decide to come this way, decide to go into the truth of Christ, decide to turn their lights around, live differently, and walk through that narrow gate, that straight gate, right? I want to encourage you and understand this, that as soon as you start to do that, you start changing your speech, changing your conduct, your behavior. When you start changing that and people begin to notice, there's some people who are going to speak against you. Okay, they're going to come against you. They're going to discourage you. And one of the things you have to recognize and realize is that that could be confirmation that you're on the right path. If they speak ill against the Bible and ill against the Messiah, that could be your confirmation, because the Bible already says that they're going to do that. See, this is a path of you building your good name. See, first you want to build a good name and record up in heaven. That's the most important. I don't want that to get lost in this message. See, if you have a good name and a good record up in heaven, meaning that you are forgiven, you are redeemed, you are declared righteous, Oh, that's your salvation. That's eternity right there. Now, it's okay to have a good name down here. If you have a good name down here, of course, that could garner you some favor in the eyes of men. That can help you. You can use that and leverage that as to get resources, to get favors, to get blessed and stuff like that. Yeah, that can help. Don't get me wrong. That can help. And that's important while we're here. That's not number one, but it's a pretty good number two. Okay? Number one is heaven and salvation, having a good name so you can have a good record, right? Now, again, you're not getting up there on good behavior. Obviously, the Messiah has to accept you and cover your sins. You come up under that banner. Once you do that, cool. You have a responsibility to walk in righteousness, and we know what righteousness is. Now, while you're here, while you're breathing, while you are on earth, you build yourself a good name. Look, for example, Joseph built himself a good name when he was in captivity in Egypt. Daniel built himself a good name while he was in captivity under Babylon. Now, there are some other examples, but I think those are two pretty good examples. So you can, and it will get you favor, get you some favor. Okay? So we're going to continue. Let's go on back to Proverbs. Okay, let's go back to Proverbs, and we're going to go to, let's see, Proverbs 15. Proverbs 15, and we're going to read verse 30. Proverbs 15 and verse 30. Let's see what that says. 15:30 says this: the light of your eyes rejoices the heart. A good report gives marrow to the bones. A good report is what I've been saying. It does you some good. A good report. Your name, your reputation get out there. Oh, I heard about you. Notice how it works both ways, brothers and sisters. How if your name, if your reputation precedes you and it is good, you get looked upon favorably. Oh, I heard about you. Oh, that's a good dude. Da, 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 da. When you have someone put in a good word for you or someone to vouch for you, you're treated favorably. Now, what happens when your reputation precedes you and is negative? Then you're not treated as well. And you're fighting an uphill battle at that point. If someone knows what I'm talking about, put it in the comment section down below. Give me 100 if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's look at it. In Proverbs, we're going to go to 10, verse 10 and 7 of Proverbs 10 and 7. Verse 7 says this: the remembrance of the righteous is blessed, but the name of the wrong ones rot. Okay, that's what lasts. The remembrance of the righteous is blessed. See, the wicked people in the Bible that's recorded and we can read about them, they're a cautionary tale. But look at how we talk about the righteous. Look at how they remember. Look at how Moses is remembered. Respect and reverence. David, Abraham, Gideon, Joshua, Jacob. And despite what a lot of people feel, I mean, even Solomon, I'm not going to say something bad because they always zero in on one thing. Oh, he went to idolatry in his old age and stuff. But we're reading about him and we quote him a lot. Ecclesiastes, anybody? Songs of Solomon, anybody? Proverbs, anybody? The Psalms? Let's keep going. I'm not gonna disrespect him that way. So again, the righteous, I mean, he's gonna make it to the kingdom. He's good enough. All right? Let's go. Let's move forward. I'm gonna go to Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. Let's go to Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, right? And I want to go to chapter 41. Sirach chapter 41, and I'm going to read verses 11 through 13. It says, the mourning of men is about their bodies, but an ill name of sinners shall be blotted out. Have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold. Right? That's how important it is, right? It says, a good life hath but few days, but a good name endureth forever. Let me give that to you one more time because I want it to sink in. Okay? I want it to sink in about how important to have a good name so that it can endure forever. Right? So let's do it again. And I said Ecclesiasticus or Sirach. This is in your Apocrypha. Right? We're in 41, 11 through 13. Okay? And it says what? It says the mourning of men. Okay? The crying. The mourning of men is about their bodies because their body died. They died. Right? But an ill name of sinners shall be blotted out. Like, okay, you're a bad sinner. Like, who cares? Right? You're bad. You're a sinner. You're a transgressor. You're a wicked person. Let me put it that way. You're wicked. Who cares? You're gone, right? And have regard to thy name. Care about your name. Have regard for that. For that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold. That's going to continue. That's what's going to carry weight, right? Your good name is what's going to carry weight. It's above that of great treasures of gold. And a good life has but few days, right? When someone is good, okay, someone who's good, I'm talking genuinely, someone who we esteem as good, pretty good person, pretty decent person, a loved one or something like that, right? We always say, oh, gone too soon. It doesn't even matter what age they are. We just say gone too soon, right? That kind of thing. A good life has but few days, but a good name endured forever. We put them on t-shirts and we say we're going to always tell stories about that person and they're going to live throughout the annals of time. Right? There are people who have been dead hundreds and thousands of years and we still talk about them, right? That's how powerful their name is, having a good name. I mean, we talk about some wicked people, but what? Who cares? We talk about them because it's a cautionary tale. This is what we're talking about. We're in Sirach. We're going to come back to Sirach here in just a second, but let's go to Philippians 1. Okay, Philippians 1, chapter 1. Philippians chapter 1, I should say. Philippians chapter 1. Sorry, folks, my pages are stuck together there. Chapter 1, and we're going to read 27 through 30, which reads, only behave yourselves worthily of the good news of Messiah, in order that whether I come and see you or am absent, I hear about you, that you stand fast in one spirit and with one being, striving together for the belief of the good news, without being frightened in any way by those who oppose, which to them truly is a proof of destruction, but to you of deliverance, and that from Elohim. What did I say earlier, brothers and sisters? What did I say earlier? Because it has been given as a favor on behalf of Messiah, not only to believe in him, but also to suffer for his sake, having the same struggle which you saw in me and now hear to be in me. He said, yeah, you on the right path. Yeah, you're going to suffer persecution. People are going to talk trash about you. People are going to say something about you, but you keep living right, living righteously, keep building up that name, because your name can still be good in your family. Your name can still be good in your community. Your name can still be good. It depends on how wide you want to spread your reputation, how big of an effect that you have on other people, right? Now, of course, number one, Messiah, like he put that. He said, hey, you know what? It's proof that they're going to talk trash about you and everything, but it's proof of their destruction, but it's proof of your salvation. I'm paraphrasing, right? It's proof of that. Without being frightened in any way by those who oppose, people coming against you, which to them truly is a proof of destruction, proof of their destruction, but to you of deliverance, salvation, and that from Elohim. Hallelujah. And you're still building a good name, trying to live a good life. And I'm not talking about material possessions. I'm talking about you serving the Most High and the effect that you have on your family and the people around you, the people in your sphere of influence. This is what matters, brothers and sisters. Let us continue. We're going to go back to Sirach, and now we're going to go to chapter 39. Chapter 39 of Sirach, and we are going to verse 1 to begin with. All right, but you know what? Let me make sure, 1 second, let me make sure I have the right, because I'm looking at this on my phone. And it'll have me reading the wrong thing, and I don't want that to happen here. So let me close that up. Okay, let's go back to Sirach, and we're gonna go chapter 39. We're gonna start at 1 and then move around. Now 1 says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in his meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. Hallelujah. Man, that's powerful right there. Let me get that one more time. That merits a repeat. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients and be occupied in prophecies. Hallelujah, right? So now we're going to go up to 6. We're going to read 6 through 8. And 6 says this. When the great Lord will, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding, and he shall pour out wise sentences and give thanks unto the Lord in his prayer. He shall direct his counsel in knowledge, and in his secret shall he meditate. And he shall show forth that which he had learned, and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Lord. This is beautiful, right? Let's go to verse 11. And if he die, he shall leave a greater name than 1,000. And if he live, he shall increase it. This is what I'm saying. This is perfectly pointing out. You live for the Most High. He's going to guide your path. He's going to direct your steps. And then you're going to be doing good because why? You are living for the Most High. You're going to seek him out, his wisdom. You're going to go into his scriptures. You're going to seek out the ancients, Torah, Tanakh, the Brit Hadashah. You're going to look at those type of things. You're going to live your life in such a way that you are principally guided. He's going to give you wisdom and knowledge and understanding and temperance. You're going to bear the fruit of the Spirit. You're going to be an instrument for the Most High. And then if you die, ye shall leave a greater name than 1,000. You're going to leave a greater name than 1,000. And if you live, you shall increase. Your reputation is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and better. To do good. Because you and I, we're instruments, okay? We're instruments. We're not greater than our master. We're not greater than our Lord. We are instruments and we're tools, and we can only hope to be used in the way that we are designed to be used by the Most High. That's the greatest thing that we can be. The greatest thing that we can hope for. That we can be useful to the Most High, useful to our community, useful to our families. That's what this is about, brothers and sisters. Now we're going to go back to the book of Proverbs, if you will. Join me back in the book of Proverbs 20. We're going to go Proverbs, let's see here, 20:11. Proverbs 20:11. Let's knock out a few more of these. 20:11. It says, even a child is known by his deeds and whether his work is clear and right. Okay? Whether it's good or bad, even a child is known by their deeds. Right? Let's keep it moving. We're going to go to the book of Acts real quick. Verse 6. Verse 6. First 3 verses. And in those days, when the taught ones were increasing, there arose a grumbling against the Hebrews by the Hellenists because their widows were overlooked in the daily serving. So the 12 summoned a group of taught ones and said, it is not pleasing for us to leave the word of Elohim and serve tables. Therefore, brothers, look at what they say. Seek out from among you 7 men who are what? Known to be filled with the set apart spirit and wisdom, whom we shall appoint for this duty. But we shall give ourselves continually to prayer and to serving the word. You see what it says? We're going to do that. You find somebody who can do. We don't have time for this. Okay? But find some people. Find them who are who are known to be filled with the Ruach HaKodesh and wisdom. Their reputation. They're picking from reputation. Right? So let's go to we're back in Proverbs. Go to Proverbs. We're going to go to Proverbs, let's see, 3, 1 through 4. Let's go to Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3. Verses 1 through 4. My son, do not forget my Torah and let your heart watch over my commands. For length of days and long life and peace they add to you. And let not loving commitment and true forsake you. Bind them around your neck and write them on the tablet of your heart. Okay, look at what it says, how you get a long, nice life, right? And 4, thus finding favor and good insight in the eyes of Elohim and man. This is why you want to have a good name. I gave you an example of those who were in captivity and they were able to find favor in that. Because they had a good name. They built up a good name. We're going to go over to Romans. We're going to go to Romans chapter 2. Romans chapter 2. And we're going to read verse 23 and 24. 23. You who make your boast in Torah through the transgressions of the Torah, do you disrespect Elohim? For the name of Elohim is blasphemed among the nations because of you, as it is written. Because of you. Because of how we live. It's blasphemed because we say we are Messianic Hebrews. We say, some of us say we're Hebrew Israelites. We say that, but our Yah is blasphemed because of us, because of how we behave. That's the problem. Are there contradictions in what we say we believe versus what we do versus what we put out there to the world? Oh, I know it's hard to juggle. Don't get me wrong. I grant you that. But we still have to strive to do this, to get this thing right. We still have to keep pushing, have to keep lifting up the Most High. His standards, his ways are above our ways, right? His standard is real high, so we have to keep on reaching and keep on striving to get there, right? That's what we need to be doing. Wahikra or Leviticus 19. I'm going to read verse 16. It says what? Do not go slandering among your people. Do not stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am Yah. Don't do these things, brothers and sisters. We cannot just keep backbiting and going against each other and bad mouthing each other and all. We can't. Now you can address an issue, but then you need to, after that, you got to let it go. You can address an issue, but after that, stop it. Let it go. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 4. And we're going to read first 2 verses and then drop to 9. First 2 verses say, let a man regard us as servants of Messiah and trustees of the secrets of Elohim. For the rest, it is sought of trustees that those should be found trustworthy. We're going to drop to 9. For I think that Elohim has exhibited us, the emissaries, last, as appointed to death, because we became a spectacle to the world, both to messengers and to men. It doesn't matter. That's what's looking at us. When you building your good name, like I said, it's for the people in your immediate circle of influence and to the heavens. That's what it means. Because we're being recorded in heaven, so we have to figure out how to get this thing right. That's the power of that's the power of having a good name. Now, it's a huge responsibility. It's hard to maintain, hard to get, hard to maintain, but it's worth it, right? It's for our benefit. Proverbs 10 and 18. We're going to go back to Proverbs 10. Proverbs 10 and 18. We're just moving along so we can go ahead and finish out this lesson. Proverbs 10. And we're going to read verse 18. He who hides hatred has lying lips, and he who sends out a slander is a fool. Let's see here. Proverbs 10, 18. Yes. He who hides hatred has lying lips, because you're not honest about it. And he who sends out slander is a fool. Stop talking trash about each other. Stop trying to character assassinate the other man. You can defend yourself, that's fine, but stop trying to ruin somebody else's reputation just because you are angry, just because you are mad. Okay, let's go to Amos chapter 2. We're going to read 6 and 7. And thus says Yah, for 3 transgressions of Yisrael, and for 4, I do not turn it back, because they sell the righteous for silver and the poor for a pair of sandals, who crush the head of the poor ones in the dust of the earth and turn aside the way of the meek. And a man and his father go in to the same girl to defile the set apart name. This is really, really bad, to go in and defile the set apart name. This has to do with what our actions, what we do, right? That gives us a terrible, terrible name. Let's go on back to Leviticus 23. Okay, we're going to finish up these last few and close out. Let's go to Leviticus, or Wahikra 23. And when we get to 23, we're going to read 31 and 32. 31 and 32. 31 says this. You do no work, a law forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And 32, it is a Sabbath rest for you, and you shall afflict your beings on the 9th day of the new moon at evening. From evening to evening, you observe your Sabbath. Again, it comes with our, 22. 22, forgive me for that, brothers and sisters, forgive me. I was right next to it. 22, 31 and 32. And you shall guard my commands and do them, and I am Yah. And do not profane my set apart name, and I shall be set apart among the children of Israel. I am Yah who sets you apart. That we are supposed to be set apart. That we are supposed to be peculiar. Right? So we have to live a set apart type of life, brothers and sisters. We got 2 other verses. You guys can read 2 Sam 12, 1 through 14. It's in the description box down below, don't worry. And then we're going to finish up with Romans 12, 17. And we're going to close out with that, right? Romans 12 and 17, and then we will close out. Romans, we have 12, verse 17. Oh, hold on. I'm in Corinthians right now. Romans 17 reads this way. Repay no evil for evil and respect what is right in the sight of all men. Okay, so you have to protect your name and you cannot repay evil for evil. We have to be who we say we are. We have to be who the scriptures tell us we should be. This is what we should be focusing on. This is what we should be practicing. That doesn't mean it's passivity, because we've seen great warriors in the Bible too. That doesn't mean just being passive. But you want to use this good name because it helps you, because it is recorded in heaven. We are recorded in heaven. Who you are, your character, your good name is recorded in heaven, in the book of life. You're wicked, you're recorded in the other book. That's not the one you want. And by extension, when you have that good name, benefit you here on earth in the eyes of man. In the look of, it'll look like favor. That's what it will look like. You'll be blessed. It'll look like favor. And sometimes those favors come from the most unlikely of places and persons. But that's one of the benefits of having a good name. Now, with that, before we sign out, let me encourage you to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please, while you're at it, smash that notification bell, because I do not want you to forget or miss any of our lessons. And if you feel so inclined, check the description box down below for the donation links where you can donate by PayPal or CashApp. Now, I hope someone has been edified by this lesson. So, until next time, search the scriptures and prove all things. Shalom, Israel.